And a Fox News alert because new U.S. airstrikes whittling away Iran's ability to attack its neighbors. This, as Israel says, it has killed the regime's newest de facto leader. So welcome to a brand new hour of America's Newsroom. I'm Dana Perino.
Good day to you.
Right
on. I'm Bill Hemmer. Good morning at home. We're Irish green today,
yes.
Right? Good spirit.
Nobody forgot.
So the IDF says it killed Ali Larijani. He was the secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council. Israel considering him to be the man in charge, at the moment anyway, of the terror regime.
Now, he is just the latest Iranian official eliminated in Operation Epic Fury. And according to General Jack Keane, his death is momentous.
Larijani has been running that country for 18 months, and certainly he's been running it for sure since the Ayatollah died, despite the fact that his son has been appointed Mojab, as his successor. So this is the most significant leadership impact of the war since the Ayatollah was killed on day one of the war. It is a huge deal here.
Team Fox coverage, Bryan Llenas is covering the European reaction from London. But first, let's go to Lucas Tomlinson. He is in Dubai. Hi, Lucas.
Dana, U.S. and Israeli forces teaming up to assassinate Iran's de facto leader, Ali Larijani, who had a $10 million bounty on his head by the U.S. State Department. The Israelis say they did this one on the house. And it was just a few days ago that Larijani was openly mocking President Trump walking on the streets of Tehran on Friday on Quds Day. And also the commander of the besieged forces, that's the IRGC's paramilitary forces that have cracked down on Iranian dissent, slaughtering over 30,000 protesters, according to President Trump's estimates, and likely many of Iran's opposition leaders as well. Now, here in the UAE, it's been a little noisy today. We just received an alert on our mobile phones about incoming Iranian drones and missiles. The Emiratis say they've all been shot down. And today, 10 ballistic missiles and 45 drones were shot down here. Since the start of the war, Iran has fired over 300 ballistic missiles and 1,600 drones at the Emirates since the start of the war, more than twice the amount launched at Israel, Dana. Now, early this morning, the airspace was closed for 2 hours after Iran launched a fresh barrage here, canceling flights, diverting others. Some flights have resumed on a reduced schedule, and a Pakistani national was killed in Abu Dhabi by falling missile debris. The Shah gas field in Abu Dhabi was also hit in a drone attack, suspending operations. And for the first time in 5 days, a tanker was hit by a projectile off the coast of the Emirates, causing only minor damage and no injuries. And the Fujairah oil complex was also attacked for the third time here this week after an attack that started days ago. This is the UAE's largest port on the Gulf of Oman and can be used to ship oil overland via pipeline bypassing the Strait of Hormuz, where there has not been much traffic at the strategic choke point. India today says 2 of its tankers made it out after a deal was cut with Tehran. And China gets nearly half its oil through the strait, and you have to think diplomatic efforts are ongoing to get those tankers moving. Only 2% of tankers from the Persian Gulf ever reach American shores. And in the Arabian Sea, the USS Abraham Lincoln Air Wing continues strike missions over Iran. The video released by Central Command, as you can see, Dana, you might call this a flex after repeated claims by Iran that it sunk her. Now, President Trump says U.S. forces have hit over 7,000 targets across Iran, a country that is more than twice the size of Texas. Now, over 61,000 Americans have fled the Middle East, according to the State Department. And since this war started, all the children here in the UAE have been doing remote learning. That extends to the universities as well, Dana.
Lucas, thank you for being there. We appreciate it.
So meanwhile, President Trump urging allies to help push oil through the Strait of Hormuz. However, European nations seem to hesitate on the call to action thus far, even with the knowledge of possible economic peril if the strait remains closed for a period of time. National correspondent Bryan Llenas now watching that situation from London and now joins us with more on this. Bryan, hello.
Bill, good morning. Well, the European Union's 27 member nations say that at least so far they will not be sending military ships to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. The EU meeting yesterday on the president's call for help. And frankly, the EU's foreign policy chief had some interesting quotes. He said the nations feel like, quote, this is not Europe's war, and, quote, there is no appetite for war.
Of course, we are allies with America, but we don't really understand their moves recently. Like I said, so we haven't been consulted, and we don't really understand what are the objectives of this war.
Germany is not providing military help in the Strait of Hormuz either. Germany's defense minister saying, quote, "This is not our war. We did not start it." The Germans also say NATO should not be involved and are pushing for a negotiated end to the war.
The Strait of Hormuz must be made navigable again as soon as possible. This war must come to an end soon. We must work together to find ways to de-escalate the situation and lay the groundwork for a diplomatic solution.
So the EU, Germany, Italy, and Australia have said no to providing military help to opening up the Strait of Hormuz. The United Kingdom, France, Canada, South Korea, and Japan could be considered maybes. The UK and France are most likely to help. No countries have publicly said yes, but President Trump says numerous countries have told him that they're on their way. Now, President Trump argues Asia and Europe should help keep the strait open since they depend on it the most. 84% of the crude oil and 83% of the liquefied natural gas moved through the strait goes to Asian markets like China, Japan, India, and South Korea. Europe and the UK, Bill, they're also more susceptible to rising global oil prices and how that could impact them at home. So that's part of the president's argument. And there's also a question about to what extent the Gulf countries and Jordan will help to protect and reopen a strait that's so vital to their economies.
All right, a lot to track on that. Bryan, good to have you there in London. Thank you, sir, for that. Thanks, Dana.
We bring in retired Vice Admiral Robert Harward. He's a former Navy SEAL. Can you tell us your perspective from a Navy sense in regards to what's happening in the strait when it comes to the mines, the movement, and how we could possibly get it back open?
Well, it's more than just the straits. It's the whole country. You're watching the largest hide-and-seek game that's gone on in mankind. You've got the Iranian Army, Navy, Air Force hiding all their assets because they know that's their lifeline. Once we've eradicated the mines, once we've eradicated the missiles and free commerce goes through, then we focus on the regime. But the same thing's going on with the regime right now. They're hiding because you can see the Israeli priority of taking out the leadership, those networks of the IRGC they're targeting. And at the same time, the Iranian people are staying at home because if they know they come out, they're going to be murdered. So in all of these lanes, everyone's trying to hide their assets, and we're finding them systematically.
Sir, if I could I apologize about jumping in there. I'm sorry. I thought you were done with your thought there. Wall Street Journal editorial board says, battle for the Strait. Iran is giving Trump and Israel a reason to keep weakening the regime. And as they write about that, we've got a graphic we can show our viewers. There's a lot of different mine types that can be used on behalf of the Iranians. How does the U.S. Navy, and to a lesser extent the Israelis, prepare for this, sir?
Well, they've prepared for it for years. And back to your point, there are more reasons to deal with Iran than just the straits. Don't forget the nukes, the surrogates murdering our people. So there's a whole host of reasons why this regime has to be dealt with. But back to the straits. We've planned for this. They've gone after the mines. They've gone after the ability to destroy it, to deliver them. So the issue is, what is their capacity? And that's the problem. They're going to use them sparingly and at periodic times. So we've got to be able to stop all movement, because any commercial boat, a dhow, can be used to place mines, as we saw in the conflict with Iraq. So you've got to limit any movement on the water and the ability to go after their mines, leverage all our technology and capacity that we have to countermine, and that's in place now, but ultimately find and validate and verify that they cannot distribute or put mines in the water. And again, I think we're on the cusp of doing that. So this is all a matter of timing, and we have to have that strategic patience to understand the more end state is the regime. So getting the flow going will occur here. It's a matter of days, but less important than, or more important than that, the ultimate goal of going after the regime. And if you take out their ability to do this, then they don't have anything left, and we can focus on the regime itself. So it's just a matter of time. And we all have to, including commerce, understand the patience it's going to do to meet all these objectives.
Admiral, thank you so much. We appreciate you being on the show.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.